What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the
fuck? What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on YouTube shit. Hey man, say man, we are lit. Let's turn. Today, to my feet. Drinking outside, big crippin' it. Gang shooting outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo, Russia, your thing, and Texas, stand the fuck up. Each day is going to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring you down. Always start back. Never let somebody tell you who you are, but also never put yourself in a position of don't belong. Let's stay humble. During revolution on the movement. Keep your way first. Come to the Black Hebrew Israelite as a real Jew. We out here. Alright. Boom. Today, to motherfucking day. Drinking outside, big crippin' it. Gang shooting outside shit, man. Turn up, and it go gang go. Bruh. Growing up as a black person in America KKK, man, is crazy. Because when you're a child actor and you have success in this world, man, you will see a lot of things that a lot of normal black people wouldn't see because you move around in the industry around people that a lot normal black people who's like in poverty or just like don't really in that type of business get to see. So you will see a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit will happen to you. So we got China and Mccain. She is like a Disney superstar as a kid, you know, growing up. And she has basically exposed the industry of all the fraudulent shit that happened across this world. So we take a deep dive look into her history and how she became who she was and how the whole world try to turn their back on her because she exposed the industry. This is a cold world, man. You know, when you try to do something good, the world try to turn its back on you, man. But when you got God with you, nothing they do gonna affect you. The world gonna hate you because you got God. But God, you always supposed to love God no matter what happens in this world, man. And let's get into it. Shout out to Cameron Suzanne. What happened to China and Mccain, man? You know, she one of them type of Disney Channel, superstars. You know, and you know Nickelodeon. You know what happened behind Nickelodeon and all this other goofy shit that been happening, man. Who knows?
Through the Disney machine with immense musical talent. China and Mccain. China was being filtered through the Disney machine with immense musical talent. Once landing her own scripted TV series on Disney called Ant Farm, performing original music and landing a hit, Calling All the Monsters, one that people revisit every Halloween. She started out young, working with Tyler Perry and starring alongside Idris Elba in Daddy's Little Girls. China was destined for stardom. Disney cameos with two of her songs appearing on the Billboard Hot 100 and being in a music group with her two sisters. It only went so far. After a while, it seemed like she got trapped on the Disney roller coaster. Who was China artistically? So from her time on Disney to losing a close friend and leaving a major TV show to people's confusion, religious rants.
They also know that Satan exists. They're just counting on the fact that y'all don't know that.
What some people believe to be psychosis, and stepping back from the industry by exposing its truth. What happened to China and Mccain?
When you talk the truth, nigga, you gonna have haters. The devil gonna control these niggas, man. And you have the coon ass niggas and the white man.
Hey guys, it's your girl Cameron, and I'm back at it again with another video. And today we are going to be talking about what happened to China and Mccain. A lot of you guys have enjoyed my Symphonique video as well as my Victoria Justice video, prompting you guys to request this one today. We know that China and Mccain, similar to these ladies, went through the whole childhood stardom, the Disney, the Nick pipeline. China made a name for herself as early as 6 or 7, right? Climbing up the Disney ranks, and a lot has happened behind the scenes, causing her to not didn't want it so bad anymore. So today we'll discuss her
It's a
career
cold, dirty
beginnings,
world
her
out
work
here,
with
man.
her sisters. We got to talk about the Mccain sisters.
When they can't stop
Acting
you, they try to
roles,
gang up and try to stop you. When they can't
and
do
where
that, they
she
gonna try to
is
spread
today.
rumors.
I
They
know
gonna
there's
try to
been
take you
several
out.
videos made about her over the years, but this one is fairly up to date, and I get in there. We
All right, gang, take it easy,
get
man.
something to drink. I got
Stay
my
blessed.
coffee right here. Get cozy, kick your feet up. Please like, comment down below. What do you guys think of China's story? And hit that subscribe button down below if you'd like to see more commentary content. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. So we're going to start with China's early beginnings. China Anne McClain was born on August 25th, 1998. Happy belated birthday. A Southern girl at heart, she was raised in Decatur, Georgia. And considering they're all Georgia girls, I definitely saw a lot of parallels between the Bailey sisters. So keep that in the back of your head. That's just something I wanted to get out the way. Her dad, Michael McClain, is a music producer with credits producing on Solange's debut album, Solo Star, in 2002. And her mom is a songwriter as well as a former screenwriter. So art and creativity ran through her blood, and the chances of her not being creative were slim to none. China was actually discovered by a family friend in 2005, their dad's friend. At the age of 6 years old, the family friend worked in the music and film industry. In class, what do I always say? Networking and connections are everything. And speaking of connections, I have a connect for you guys today. The older I get, the more paranoid to the story. So for their family friend at the dinner table, China sang a song from Spy Kids 2. And although many of us have been there, done that, you sing little songs at the dinner table, but it doesn't result in much more than that. This is what helped get China through the door. The family friend made a phone call and asked director Rob Hardy to let her audition for the 2005 film, The Gospel. And she snagged the role playing a little girl named Alexis, alongside Idris Elba, Boris Kojo, and Clifton Powell, just to name a few. So this was a legit film. Now, based on China's Disney Channel bio, it said that her performance in the film caught the attention of actor, director, and producer Tyler Perry, whom we all know has an onslaught of projects, from TV shows to movies to plays, etc. So at this time, he was still actively building his empire. And China was making connections, right? Connections enough for her to grab an audition for Disney's original film, Jumpin'. She did land a role in the film, but subsequently turned it down to work with Tyler Perry. So Disney almost got her the first time. She was able to score a role on Tyler Perry's House of Pain, which aired starting in 2006, where she played Jasmine Payne.
Change of like giving the kids more lines because they are funny. And China is amazing. She's a star in the making.
Now, China's mother did state and clarify
it might be good for the girls, not for the niggas.
China decided to turn down Jump-In not because of House of Pain, but because she and her sisters were presented with a major opportunity, and it could not be passed up. Before we get the McClain sisters. So China Anne McClain is one of 3 McClain girls. The baby of the bunch, they were all involved in show business from a young age. So Sierra McClain is the eldest, born in 1994, and Lauren is the middle child, born in 1997. Now, they all developed a love for music and acting due to their household, their upbringing, their family.
And that was about 3 when we first started
I didn't know she
singing.
had that many
Our parents
sisters,
met
to be
doing
honest.
music, so we've been around it pretty much all of our lives.
Right.
And then she got bit by the acting bug.
In 2004, however, the girls all expressed clear interest in wanting to do music, acting, where they started writing songs, choreographing, and dancing. The girls can all also play the guitar, bass, and piano. Now, Sierra, who's the eldest out of the 3, was cast in the children's choir of the gospel film, right? The one that China had a role in, had a speaking role in. Lauren was also in the supporting cast as well, so all 3 sisters were in this film. And while China began working on Tyler Perry's House of Pain, on set in around December 2005, China, or her team, I don't know, introduced both of her sisters, Sierra and Lauren, to the show's producer. Keep in mind that the 3 sisters formed a girl group originally called 3 McClain Girls. They'd later change it to the McClain Sisters, and then later to McClain. We will get there. Their first song, Silly Games, was produced by their father, while also written and co-produced by their mom. And did I also add that they have a little brother who also acts, sings, and dances? We all know that House of Pain is a Tyler Perry production. Well, he was planning a huge film. The film being Daddy's Little Girls.
Ain't that
Idris
crazy?
Elba
Every
playing
time they
their
go to Tyler
father,
Perry, they
and
come out with
Gabrielle
some crazy
Union
ass
also
secrets
acting
and shit.
alongside them. The movie was released in February 2007 via Lionsgate Entertainment. And this was actually the first of 6 films directed by Tyler Perry that he did not star in. So with this film, he was switching things up a bit, switching up the formula, less comedic appeal, and there was no Medea or Joe appearing. It's a gut-wrenching, layered story about a single dad raising his 3 girls. Their deadbeat mother is in a relationship with a neighborhood dealer, where the girls are poached from their father's home and forced to live with their mother. Gabrielle plays the lawyer Julia,
Julia,
you know I never make a fool of y'all, who helps Monty, Idris Elba's character, in a custody battle to get the girls back. And that's the entire premise of the film. I think they did a great job in their roles. China, very specifically, she had to handle some very heavy topics. All of them did. But for her to be the youngest and be so young and committed and have the feeling and the passion, she was able to be comedic, but she was also able to get emotional. She did a really good job at such a young age.
Why you gotta put my business out like that? What's wrong with you?
And I grew up watching this film a lot, so this was my first introduction to China and the Mccain sisters, period. Although it's kind of considered a black classic at this point, the film initially got mixed to average reviews. Criticized for its amateurish filmmaking, which, if we're being honest, I think it's much better than the stuff Tyler Perry is making now, like
y'all know they hate black people. They always want some white person on shit. You know what I'm saying? When it's all full of black people, they hate our shit, nigga.
But that's a different story for a different day. So I do want to iterate, even though the reviews are a little iffy, there's a lot of people who really enjoy this film. Their positioning right in Black Hollywood, it put them on the map, it put them on the radar. There's also a soundtrack released for the film on January 16th, 2007, which featured songs by Musiq Soulchild, Anthony Hamilton, Brian McKnight, Beyonce, Whitney Houston, and yes, a Walmart exclusive track called Daddy's Girl by the Mccain sisters, so they were able to sneak in a song here and there. Otherwise, the song was exclusively on MySpace in 2008. This was also the year the girls started posting singing covers on YouTube. Strong together, they did decide to pursue their acting careers separately, but in reality, it was going to be hard to find a project that would suit all 3 of them. In the way that Daddy's Little Girls did,
there wasn't enough opportunity out there. And we're 3 young black girls all in the same house trying to do the same thing.
Outside of music, it was unrealistic to expect them to stay together. So let's talk about her acting takeoff. Getting more skin in the game, China would end up featuring in small roles like on Hannah Montana and CIS, in the Forest Whitaker film Hurricane Season in 2009. That's a great film. I mentioned the Hannah Montana cameo. It was at this point that China was really making connections with Disney. Remember, she auditioned for Jump In at the beginning of her acting career, but declined the role. So they liked China. They clearly liked her. She guest starred in Wizards of Waverly Place alongside Selena Gomez. She was charismatic. She had experience outside of the Disney realm, which isn't always super common, and she was talented. She could sing, she could act, she was funny.
That's why she get signed by Jay-Z, Rockefellers. They barely knew Beyonce, nigga.
Boom. What was there not to like? So, in 2009, Disney tried to set her up with the parlay. China landed a starring role as Janet in a Disney pilot called Jack and Janet Save the Planet. No, it has a nice ring to it. I was even able to find the production listing for this. So, yes, this existed. This was a real project. But unfortunately, it was not picked up or aired, which is also a common occurrence in the world of Disney and Nick, film and television. There are a mill of show ideas, and they just sometimes never get off the ground for whatever reason. And in 2010, she landed another role in a major film. We're talking next echelon here. Grown Ups, playing Charlotte McKenzie, the daughter of Chris Rock and Maya Rudolph's characters. This was another star-studded cast, right? You got Adam Sandler as the lead, Kevin James, Salma Hayek, David Spade. Also, this is where she met Cameron Boyce, or they started working together and built this bond. The film was a smash success, raking in $272 million. Like, I'm never passing up the chance or the opportunity to rewatch this film if it's on. Consistent with Disney, though, China landed a recurring role on Jonas in 2010, playing the character Kiara. Like, real talk, she was living every little girl's dream. singing alongside Nick Jonas for a song called Your Biggest Fan. And I don't think you guys understand fully. Some of you guys might feel me. How exciting it was to see a fellow black girl snagging these roles, someone around my age, right? Being very visible and being given these opportunities with Disney's biggest stars. And it appears she officially relocated with her family to LA in 2011, something she'd later say she didn't realize would be so brutal. LA is a lot more cutthroat, and she had to come to terms with this, and she opened her eyes to it. So now we're going to talk about
LA is weird, nigga. Like when they say LA is weird, that's
China
what they mean.
was cast
This
as
is
the lead
weird,
role
nigga.
on a Disney Channel series called
Shit,
Ant Farm.
all people say
With
this
China
is
saying
weird.
that she didn't have to audition for Ant Farm, as the previous pilot served as an audition of sorts. This show was produced and created by a man named Dan Signer, not the other Dan.
Yeah, not that
And
one.
the show's creator said, quote, "The girl has so much confidence. She can nail a joke, she can sing, she can play instruments. It's like China was some sort of child prodigy." And that's when it hit me. Why not build a show around a child prodigy? And the show officially aired in May 2011 when China was about 12 going on 13. The one episode preview continued as a regular series in the following month. So the show's premise follows China Parks. Let's just say it's giving very much a Victoria Justice situation. We're building a show around you, and we're going to use your real name, but not use your real name, but like kind of base it off of you, but it's not off of you, right? So you become very intertwined with your character. There's almost no separation there. She plays an 11-year-old music prodigy in a gifted program called Advanced Natural Talent, or the ANT program, at a San Francisco high school. And yes, I said high school because the program allows gifted kids to skip middle school and go straight to high school. And she even got the opportunity to sing the show's theme song, Exceptional. Again, another good musical look. A song that people say Harry Styles ripped off. If you know, you know. But this show was practically trying to set her music career up. It was packaging it in a little bow. We know one thing about Disney. They have all of the tools to set you up for success when it comes to a music career, if they want to. Now, the show was a success, becoming the most popular TV series among kids 6 to 11 and 9 to 13. And transparently, guys, I kind of stopped keeping tabs on Disney, so I wasn't there for real. I'm not even going to sit up here and lie to you guys on this camera right now. I watched a couple little episodes, but I wasn't there. Reality TV shows were popping. It was in full swing. And unfortunately, I was sneak watching Bad Girls Club.
Never watched that gay weird shit.
And watching ABC Originals.
Nah.
So I kind of moved on a little bit, but what did you guys think of Ant Farm? Let me know. The show's soundtrack released in October 2011 was cozy for 5 weeks on the Billboard Skit chart, even peaking at number 29 on the Billboard Hot 200 albums chart. China did make it clear, though, that Disney did not play, right? Compared to her previous role on Tyler Perry's House of Pain, she said that she had to pay a lot more attention and focus more when it came to her on-screen time at Disney. It's like a machine. Again, that analogy is the best way to describe how Disney operates and how they expect their child actors to conduct themselves. The show was announced for season 2, and in October 2012, it was renewed for a third and final season. Now, China did get a lot of exposure. One of the biggest moments from the show being her track, Calling All the Monsters, that released in September 2011. Now, I swear this song makes a reappearance every Halloween season, and I feel like the older we get, a lot of people are realizing that China kind of made a classic. Like, she kind of made a classic, and it topped the Radio Disney's Top 30 countdown. It even charted at number 86 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, later becoming a gold record. That means it sold around 500K, over 500K record. A music video was also released with Disney putting their full budget into it. Her sisters made cameo appearances. Overall, China performed a lot of songs on the show, like her cover of Dynamite by Tayo Cruz. The song actually had over 1 million views in under a week on YouTube. So people were messing with not only the show, but the musical side, the musical aspects of China and Mccain. So there's a lot of segments and inserts to these stories. We also got to talk about her group activities. Right, with her sisters. If I understand this correctly, China signed a deal with Hollywood Records in June 2011, according to this tweet. Now, Hollywood Records is a label owned by Disney Music Group. So most Disney-affiliated stars were signed through Hollywood Records at some point. It's pretty standard. But it was distributed by Universal Music Group, or UMG. Now, remember, the Mccain sisters were in a group. They've been in a group since like 2005, all right? So they were still trying to push that agenda as well. The Mccain sisters ended up landing 2 songs on the Ant Farm soundtrack, so Perfect Mistake and Electronic Apology. And they'd also perform a Christmas song at the 2011 Disney Parks Christmas Parade. Now, although it looks like China had been signed the year prior, the Mccain sisters were then all signed to Hollywood Records in March 2012. Opening for Big Time Rush on their tour, they released a song called Rise as an anthem for Disney's Friends for Change. Also performing at the White House Easter egg roll in April 2012, Hollywood Records had them working. So even though China had her show and was doing more with Disney, her sisters were still included on some of those endeavors. Now, Disney Music Group's executive Ken Bunn gushed over the girls as a whole, saying they are 3 exceptionally talented young artists with a very exciting road ahead of them. The sisters were planning to release an album with the label that was slated for the fall of 2012, but that never happened.
If social
we never
media,
get an album from
like
period,
TikTok,
but
and
we'll get there.
YouTube, like really,
the girls,
like,
however, finally released their official debut single "Go"
in
in November 2012.
I feel like they would have been on YouTube. Or you think she was too big for the internet?
So
like,
in 2013,
like,
when China took to Twitter to notify fans
TV
that Ant Farm would be
movies.
concluding after its 3rd season, the Mccain sisters shortly after left Hollywood Records.
I think she'd be big on TikTok right now.
It was very difficult. We're 2 black girls, we harmonize, we do R&B music, like, we signed to Hollywood Records.
And after that, they also dropped the sister in their name and just decided to go by Mccain. They wanted to mature and grow musically.
It's just evolving and growing up, or what's the change in music?
It is like, I believe, it's like a transition. Like at first we were doing, poppy stuff, and it was Disney stuff, and it was stuff for the kids, and now we're moving a little bit into who we are. Yeah, now it's still appropriate, right? Music, but it's edgier.
They actually performed at a 2014 Radio Disney's pre-show event. And amidst all of this, China was still working. She was still affiliated with Disney. It wasn't a complete cold cut. But she recorded a theme song for another Disney show and also did some guest starring. The girl's first release after leaving Hollywood's Records was He Loves Me, which came out in December 2013. And the girls' connection still proved strong, right? Performing alongside Soulja Boy and Drake Bell at an event in support of Michelle Obama's Let's Move initiative. They'd also tour state fairs in the summer and fall of 2014. And for their last hurrah, at that time, an independent SoundCloud release in 2015 called Feelin' Like. I also want to add, we were very much a part of the social media generation, so Lauren and China created a YouTube channel to do challenges, covers, Q&As, tags, all of that.
I didn't know that. I was about to say, because I thought they would have branded through YouTube.
But they became inactive with that channel around 2018, so they didn't even stay consistent with that.
Yeah.
However, things fizzled out for the time being, and the group went on a very long hiatus afterwards to pursue different projects. So let's get back into China. There was a lot also going on amidst her trying to push her sister's group. We got to talk about the work. China had made some impact on Disney. Billboard named her the 6th best-selling artist for digital kids songs in 2012, being also nominated for J14's Teen Icon Award, notating her as a triple threat, and in the same category against Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, and Victoria Justice in 2013. She was also nominated for an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Performance by a Youth for her show Ant Farm. In July 2013, China reprised her role in Grown Ups 2, and despite it being torched by a lot of critics, I have to admit the first one I think was better. But because of the success the first movie saw, it urged people to flood the theaters anyways, so it made a total of $247 million worldwide, so still a very successful film. We know that Ant Farm would end in 2014. So China competed on ABC's Sing Your Face Off in 2014, winning the show's first and only season. And that makes a lot of sense because it's like, I've never heard of this show a day in my life. But she also starred in another Disney film called How to Build a Better Boy, which premiered in August 2014. The TV premiere drew in over 4 million viewers, and she even recorded a song for the film as well. So as you guys notice at this point, pretty much all of China's music is affiliated with a movie she was doing or a character. Unless like the one or two releases with her sisters outside of the Disney realm. In 2015, she was also featured in an episode of the Fox series Bones, and China also became intertwined with the Descendants film series, is a very big franchise. Disney will not let her go. She sang Night is Young on its first movie soundtrack, and The Descendants is actually directed by the Disney icon, Kenny Ortega. He did the High School Musical films, he did the Cheetah Girls films, and it also starred the late Cameron Boyce. She also voice acted on Descendants Wicked World in 2015 and had another voice acting credit on the animated action drama Below. And so forth. In June 2017, Variety listed her as one of the 10 stars to watch in 2017, having her hands in multiple upcoming projects. Descendants 2 premiered July 2017, in which she played a villain named Uma, and What's My Name, which was a song performed by China, and 2 of her co-stars actually charted at number 61 on the Billboard Hot 100. What's my name? What's my name? Feel the power. Making itself 2 times platinum. China was able to get her music looks through these Disney roles, which was great, right? They were able to facilitate her recording career. We had yet to see a mature entry from her. All of her solo music was peddled through her characters.
Yeah, I feel like if she would have had like a motherfucking like
China was
a record deal,
artistically,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
musically, as a
like
person. What's your artistic identity? Somebody like me who aged out of Disney, I wasn't really privy to a lot of her music anymore because I wasn't watching it. So I think that also kind of went to hurt her commercially in the long run. Now, she had guest roles galore from Casey Undercover, a 2017 Lifetime film that she also executive produced. And in 2018, she reprised her role for 3 episodes on The Pains, which was a sequel to Tyler Perry's House of Pain. Airing for 1 season on Oprah's network instead of BET, that would end up getting canceled though. Okay, put a pin in that. But she also had a starring role in the film Blood Brother alongside Trey Songz in 2018. Never seen that movie. Didn't know that movie existed. And one of the biggest roles of her career that really helped her step outside of the Disney bubble, major role as Jennifer Pierce in the 2018 TV series Black Lightning. The show premiered on the CW in January 2018, based upon the DC comic book lore of Black Lightning superheroes. China plays the daughter of Black Lightning, or Jefferson Pierce. The show received a lot of great reviews, critical acclaim, compelling family dynamics, humor, and social commentary. It appeared to be a really good move for China. Although, we thought. We'd find out, though, in some ways, it really wasn't for her. The 4th season was its final, wrapping up in May 2021. So we're going to put a pin in all of this for a bit, because we're going to get into the controversies. All right? We're going to get into the controversies. If you're starting your holiday shopping, beefing with Miss Baker.
Oh, shit.
And when I say Miss Baker, y'all will never guess who I'm talking about. Anita Baker. Let's talk about it. There's more to this story. In April 2018, her and Anita Baker got into a Twitter spat, a Twitter beef, okay? China took to Twitter saying, quote, "Wow, my mom unfortunately just met Anita Baker, and she was so rude. She started yelling at my mom for saying she liked her music. Wow, so disappointing. At Anita Baker." She put an at on it. Kind of respected, I ain't gonna lie. My Detroit sister. And look, I know Anita Baker is technically born and from Toledo, but she grew up here since she was 2, so I love her music. But apparently, this is not me confirming it nor denying it, I don't know. But apparently there have been long-running rumors that Anita Baker is not the most pleasant person. People have had a lot of unpleasant interactions with her, okay? But Anita responded, saying that it was China's mom who was being loud. "No one knew or noticed me, no entourage, no special attention, just quietly filling out my passport application until a very loud person announces to the entire office that I'm some VIP, which I'm not, and also announces they are VIPs doing a movie or something." So Anita's story was giving, oh, your mom was acting like a fan, and China's like, my mom wouldn't do that. So after a few exchanges and a hashtag hire a publicist later, China wrapped it up in defense of her mother, saying her mom is a pro, right? She knows how the business goes. And based off of what we've learned about their family, I would believe that to be true. So China ended the tweet by saying, "The world teaches us to love and respect one another, and that's not what you did today. God bless." And I'm not gonna lie, she ate her up a bit. Classily, respectfully. And actually, a lot of people sided with China and believed that she was telling the truth. And again, this is old news, but I'm a step behind my mama too. So I can't really fault China for that. People have kind of co-signed that they've met her or they've heard things where, yeah, just don't go up to Anita Baker. Moral of the story, if you see Miss Anita Baker in public, respectfully
I know some
admire
bitches
from
like
afar.
that.
This is the big one. This is the big one. China's religious content and exposing the industry. No, it's no secret that China has grown up religious her entire life. After all, she's a Georgia girl. And if you guys know anything about the South, devout Christianity is quite common. So around 2020 to 2021, China increased her online presence via TikTok. She started making more videos about God and theology.
Yeah, I remember that low-key.
People noticed it was a shift in the way that she usually connects with her audience. And that is also something that China acknowledged herself.
Where we've been quarantined.
Yeah, this was during quarantine. Yeah, I remember this shit.
Talking about certain things that I deal with and how I get through it. Talking about God. Having some tough conversations with you guys. Just because it's been put on my heart to say these things. This is how I show you that I love you. I have gotten bullied more for talking about God than I ever have in my life. Public school wasn't this bad.
Because people hate the real.
But China had been through some things that
demons,
emotionally
they don't like God.
took a toll on her over the past couple of years. Like
when we
losing
talk about
her close
God,
friend,
God loves
Cameron
us. You know what I'm
Boyce,
saying? Yahweh
who
loves
passed
us.
away suddenly in
The demons
2019.
don't like God.
And it was a shocking
like
and difficult loss.
We
I remember when all
God.
of this happened.
I'd known him for so long. I'd never kept a relationship with somebody over, 10 years like that. And to see him go when he was younger than me, it was just like, I don't even know what to say about it. I've had all these really mixed emotions recently.
But years later, in a 2021 Teen Vogue interview, she did say that Cameron's passing made her step back from the industry a bit, made her perspective change, not solely focusing on work anymore and those accolades, but processing her emotions, that life is more precious than the accomplishments, than the glitz, than the glam. China also said she was inspired by young people messaging her, going through it emotionally, in emotional turmoil, and she wanted to spread the gospel. And in a November 2020 Instagram video, she candidly addressed fans about her show, her current show on air, Black Lightning, and the 4th season being the last one. China revealed that she was going to leave the show regardless if it was going to be renewed or not. And a lot of people were confused and shocked by that.
What I did know and have known, along with the rest of the cast, since before we even started shooting this season, is that I am leaving the show and was leaving the show. This is going to be my last season, regardless of if it went on or not.
A, why is it canceled? And B, why did you want to leave it? Like, what was going on? With her simply saying that the show was no longer connecting to her spiritually, that it wasn't in God's plan.
God is moving me in more than one way than just this show. I'm doing God's work now. And I'm not doing it. I'm not crying because I regret leaving. I'm really not. I would have regretted staying because he's moving me. And when he calls, I'm going to follow.
Now, some people assumed, and there were rumors going around, that there was some on-set drama, that there was some co-star drama, or maybe some things were happening on set for her to walk away. But she insisted that that was not it, that she enjoyed her time on the show for the most part. Quarantine shifted her perspective in a lot of ways, bringing her even closer to God, saying that she's, quote, doing God's work now. And some people thought that this appeared to be a bit cryptic, right? We've never really heard you talk about this way.
Is your mattress giving you...
Yeah, they usually be NPCs,
like, what's going on? Is she going through something? Did something happen to her? And she even said in that video that she wanted to create a production company, right? To start focusing on bringing her own projects.
That's why I said she needed to do that to get her name out there.
Yeah, start making moves. I've not played the game well when it comes to the standards of this industry.
Yeah,
I'm creating things now for y'all. That's not to get a check. We need the spirit again in these projects. I don't know where it's gone.
And fast forward to April 2021, there was one video in particular that got a lot of attention. One analogy she was presenting as proof of God's existence.
Builder of this building? Seen the builder of this building? Do you know their name? If you believe someone built this building, why? Is it because the building exists and you know buildings don't build themselves? You're right. It's logical thinking. For this building to exist, someone or something had to build it. So if a building is proof of a builder and a painting is proof of a painter and them existing is all the proof you need to know that there was a builder and a painter, why is creation not proof of a creator?
And this sparked a lot of back and forth, with some people being off-put by her logic, saying that it was a logical fallacy, while others connected to the message and was like split. Maybe didn't express it this way, but I think there were some people that were concerned.
God is real, nigga.
Because we all know about the actor, the celebrity to Christian influencer pipeline, or we see the Christian influencer pipeline from I was doing this, now I'm going to be uber religious. Which, again, like I said, she did grow up religious. So I don't think that this popped out of thin air for her. But in the world of social media, clout, getting followers, we have seen a lot of people co-opt religion or use religion as a way to gain followers, to get attention. And so some people interpreted her doing this as being disingenuous. Like, it just didn't feel natural. It felt like a lot all at once. Okay, and I'm just being honest about some of the conversations I was seeing. At the end of the day, it's your platform. You can talk about what you want as long as you're not spreading hate or you're not telling people how to live their lives. I don't personally see a problem with it. But it did kind of take people for a loop. She was also very vocal, as was the rest of the internet, in her defense, when Lil Nas X released his music video for Call Me By Your Name or Montero. Remember, that's the one where he was dancing on the devil, dropping it low, all of that. Caused a lot of conversation, and she entered the chat.
There's a lot of confusion about the way God is represented by people versus who he actually is. Comments like the one on top of Lil Nas's video, they often turn into back and forth conversations about religion. Christians against the gay community or Christians against everyone else. When it's really not about Christianity or religion. I feel like the gay people can't play represented badly by a Christian or by someone that's been hurt by a Christian. It really makes me sad because it's not who he is.
Topics on religion can be very touchy. Some people appreciated the content shift. Some people found it off-putting and a little too preachy. After a couple years or so of people pedestaling her now as this figure, because remember, people finally saw like a new side of China that they didn't know, they hadn't fully known. So they began to pedestal her because of this content she was making. A young person in the industry speaking out. That was a rarity. So a lot of people also saw it as an act of bravery and honesty. Look at the darkness in this industry.
It's about influence. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan. Full-on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside-down crosses all on their clothes, or pentagrams on their clothes. People think that this stuff is just a game. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing that, y'all. They know good and doggone well that God exists. They also know that Satan exists. They're just counting on the fact that y'all don't know that.
That's a fact.
So, of course, when she'd step away from doing that content and she'd post herself celebrating Halloween, a lot of people started asking her, what happened to your Christian content? I thought you said you were saved. I thought you said you were enlightened. I thought you said that you weren't with the demonic stuff of the industry. She dressed up for Chucky as Halloween. There were people in the comments, why are you celebrating an evil figure like that?
Nothing wrong to have fun.
And recently, the Mccain sisters posted a TikTok dancing to anxiety like everybody else. And they were called out for that in the comments. Somebody was like, you guys are dancing to a song about the spirit of anxiety.
I rebuke it. You can't talk about God and have fun.
Everything China would do. Like, she's twerking on the camera. People were like, oh, I thought you found God. So,
they can't
I don't
have
want to
fun.
say she set herself up for that.
Hell no.
Because now you got people, gotcha. Why are you twerking? Why are you dancing to this song? The song is evil, the song's demonic. And so that also started to follow her as well. And although in that video back in 2020, China had called to say, I want to start doing projects I want to do. I don't want to follow the Hollywood formula.
Maybe she just
But
wants to
she
have
went
fun
back to
and
posting
live
just
her
to post
life and talk about
and not
God
focusing
and
on
have
religious
fun.
commentary and also
Niggas can't
doing
have
more
fun these
Hollywood
days.
projects
What
again
the
and things
hell?
like that, to a point where I saw TikToks and comments of people insinuating that maybe she was going through some sort of religious psychosis. I am not diagnosing anybody with
Man,
anything.
these niggas are haters.
I am not a psychologist.
Haters.
But all I'm saying is
Haters.
people thought it was a little bit odd
Nothing
how it
wrong
was like
talking
this
truth.
uptick of religious content and then it kind of just stopped.
At least
I
he
wanted to
spoke
talk about
up.
this
Some
today
niggas ain't
because
gonna never
I know
speak
a
up.
lot of
Niggas go with
videos
the
have been
fake ass
made
shit
about
to their
China
God.
and
Nigga,
McCain,
she
and this
spoke
was
up
a big
and
talking
brought some
point.
niggas to speak
But
on the
because
shit.
this is
Niggas,
such an updated
these fake
video, I
ass
wanted
niggas
to
these
fill you
days,
guys
niggas, these
in
niggas ain't talking
that
about
it
shit.
seems like
They don't say
she's
nothing
found a
about God,
balance,
nigga.
that she's not
They
really
gonna say
doing that
something
content
else.
like that anymore, but it has created a layer
They
of
ain't
judgment
gonna bring
where
God
people
names
are now
up.
looking at her
You
to
know
be
what I'm
this
saying?
model
Your way.
Christian
People be fake.
person, which A, is not realistic, but
You know
some
what I'm
people
saying?
feel like she set herself
At
up
least
for
he
that
talking about God.
and then kind of ditched it.
Expose some of the
Another
truth.
scandal,
These
something
niggas
that I want to
NPCs out
debunk
here.
today. Tyler Perry. There has been this story
Gucci niggas.
going around that Tyler Perry blacklisted her or something.
Told you.
I don't know, or something happened behind the
Told you Tyler
scenes
Perry
to
not to
sour
be
the
trusted, man.
relationship, which has spawned
That was the
TikTok
wrong decision.
videos
She
of
just went
people
the other
discussing
way.
allegations of her feeling unsafe on his set.
Told
While
you.
these would not be the first
Told
allegations
you.
against Tyler Perry for blacklisting or potentially unfair treatment, allegedly, we can see Monique's situation.
Yep.
I can't find any credible information that these claims are true, that China has even given a statement about this. Many people are also confused when this information was revealed a few months ago because she's actively on the House of Pain. Like, she went back to working for
That don't
Tyler
mean
Perry.
nothing.
Filming House of Pain. No, I'm not going to be in the new season.
Especially with China's previous messages about Hollywood and the darkness of the industry and no longer doing projects that don't serve her. Many people have questioned the credibility of that story because why would China go back to that environment or working with him if it was that bad? I don't doubt that shady things have happened to China in the show business in general, but a lot of that she has not revealed in detail. And lastly, we got one more. Save the turtles. Save the sea
Niggas
turtles.
be haters,
When I was
though.
doing
You
research
know
for
what I'm
this
saying?
video,
Like,
I was
at least he
confused.
spoke up and
I kept seeing
exposed some
TikTok
of the
comments,
industry.
in
These
her
niggas ain't
TikTok
exposing
comments, people
shit.
saying, shame on
They want all
you.
the niggas to go to hell.
What
Niggas, they want
about the
everybody to go to
turtles?
hell. You know what I'm saying?
Turtle this, turtle that. I said, what about the turtles? And this prompted me
What about the
to dig
turtles?
deeper. So, that's what I did. In March 2025, China posted an old video of her petting resting sea turtles. A video that she claimed was about 2 to 3 years old, but she found it in her camera roll, wanted to post it, wanted to share it. But that was a huge mistake because it caused an entire firestorm. I'm talking, this video had over 500,000 views, with thousands of comments flooding in, calling her out for cultural insensitivity, and it even summoned Hawaii's governor, where he said, quote, "Aloha, China. I urge you to educate yourself on Hawaii's laws and the importance of protecting our marine life before visiting our islands. Please delete this video and do better." Now, I know some of you guys have either gasped at all of this and you guys are appalled at what she did, and I know there's a lot of you guys right now who are very confused. What's the issue? So guidelines suggest that humans should leave 10 feet between themselves and sea creatures and avoid engaging with them, marine life very specifically. This is because human interaction can cause diseases, stress, and disrupt natural processes creatures need to survive. And in many cases, they're protected under laws like the Endangered Species Act, which can make it illegal to touch or harass them. This can also lead to very hefty fines. And one environmental activist did note that what she did could be a violation of federal laws. But state officials did step in and said not so much, not quite. However, it was certainly against guidelines.
When you're on the planes, when you land at the airport, there are signs everywhere. The hotels have information. Every beach on Hawaii has signs about endangered species. Don't go near them. Stay 10 feet away from them. Don't touch them. You get fined up to $2,000. You can go to prison for 30 days. Like, how many times do we have to go over this? They're masking. They're probably nesting. And you are harassing them.
Bitch, you are harassing them.
Your germs are are going to get them sick. Why do you think Hawaii is the endangered species capital of the world?
Who gives a fuck, nigga? Everything
Destroy
dies.
everything when you come here.
The
In China
fuck?
and Sierra was the one who recorded the video,
Fuck them damn
left a
turtles,
statement
nigga.
to the Hawaii Department of Land
y'all
and Natural
niggas.
Resources, or the DLNR, saying that they were
Y'all
not
get all
aware
that
of the
goddamn fucking
guidelines
shit
and
on that
meant
fucking
no
island,
offense.
nigga, and get
Those
mad
are
about
lines
fucking
that we never
turtles.
cross
Fuck
intentionally.
out of
So
here.
that part of the situation is hurting us now.
Man, that
We're
baby
doing these
ain't no
beautiful
boy.
turtles,
If I was like,
and the people
if I
of
was like
Hawaii,
on some
we are
main
very
line,
sorry.
you know
And she
what I'm
also
saying?
took
Well,
to
I would have
Instagram on
crashed out.
March 6,
Man, fuck y'all.
2025 to address it
Fuck
all.
y'all damn
I did
turtles,
not
nigga.
know
I would have made turtle
that
soup,
is not
nigga.
something that you're supposed to be
Fuck is
doing
you
when it
talking
comes
about,
to
bitch?
turtles. But I do
Fuck you niggas.
respect those laws, and I understand why they're there, because a lot of people don't
Fuck them
come
laws, nigga.
to
Y'all
your
do all
land
this
with the
toxic shit,
intention of
ass
being
shit every
respectful
day,
and
killing all
gentle
these animals,
and
all
loving
these
and
stink ass animals y'all been
caring.
killing, making
Like,
furniture and
they
shit.
just don't. They're destructive.
Fuck out
I
of
never
here,
would have done it
nigga.
intentionally. I'm so sorry.
What
The
happened to human people,
DNLR
though?
communications director
Y'all
did
kill people?
appreciate and accept
Y'all
their
don't say nothing
apology,
about
and
the
he
people
furthered that he
dying?
didn't really believe
I wish
in
I would have the
punishing
same
them
shit
for
about
it.
when Hawaii
Even
got
though a
burnt the
lot of
fuck
people on
down.
social media
Got
were
them
calling
damn
for
motherfucking
repercussions,
celebrities
like
who didn't do
fine them,
shit.
put them in jail,
Fuck
like
out
they
of
were
here.
not playing about these turtles. And the
Fucking
governor
turtles.
also appreciated their apology. So I
You
wanted to leave
fat
that out
nose
there that
ass
like it's all been
pussy.
solved. Intentions have been
You just
interpreted.
hating
Before
ass
you
niggas.
travel anywhere, we're gonna learn from this situation today.
Man,
Do
fuck
not
them
touch the
turtles.
turtles.
Don't touch it. Pay
Fuck
attention to
them turtles,
signs. There's
nigga.
usually signs up. Google is free. So,
Yeah.
guys, those are our
Fuck y'all
controversies.
niggas,
But
bro.
I want to finish this out with where she is now, and I
They
want
had
to
me,
sprinkle
boy, they
in
would
where her
have had me
sisters
fucked
are
up. They had
as
the right
well,
one, bitch,
because they are a
I would have
huge
crashed
part
out,
of
nigga.
her story. So,
I
as for
would have
China,
crashed
in
out.
August
Get this shit back
2019,
in
she
blood,
would
nigga. I would
reprise
have
her role
crashed
in
out, nigga.
Descendants 3. It was also announced in
Bitch
2020
ass
that The
turtle.
House of Pain
Pussy
would
ass
be getting
people.
a revival on
Man,
BET
told to
again,
crash.
right? That was a show that China has been
They
with
just
since
hating
the
ass
beginning of her
she
career.
exposed their
So it was a
asses.
full circle moment, and it's still on air right now. Now, back to group things
This is why
and
people be
music
killing
with her
all these goddamn
sisters.
fucking
In June
animals and shit,
2020,
making
at
fucking
the height
furniture,
of the
killing humans.
pandemic,
Y'all don't have the
the
same
girls came
shit
out of a
about what's going on
hiatus
with
and
Sudan, all this
rebranded
shit that's
their
going on in the
name to
world.
3.
The fuck?
THRII.
But they care about a
I
damn
don't really know
turtle.
how I feel
Fuck out
about
of
that
here.
spelling. I want to say thrive, but you know, they released their original single, My Sanity. And a full circle moment in
But
October
me
2021,
being a real
the
nigga,
girls
bro,
created a
I would have
remix
crashed
calling
out
all
on
the
them bitch ass.
monsters.
I would have hit her on personally and said, fuck you, bitch ass motherfucker. Get it back
Although it
in
was
blood. I'm
originally
come
a
meet
solo
me, catch
track
these
by
fucking
China, they
hands,
turned it into
bitch.
this group
I
moment,
would have crashed
got a little
out,
bit of
nigga.
virality, and they released a
But
music
you
video
know how it
for it
goes, nigga.
in October 2021.
It's a bunch of
Like
butthole
perhaps
ass
it was,
niggas, you
though,
know.
a smart
This
choice for
asshole,
them to
everybody
take
got one, just
a
like a opinion,
popular
so
track and make
you gotta
everybody
pick
like
and choose.
reminisce,
It ain't worth
nostalgia,
it.
remember them again. In April 2023, she appeared on an episode of 911 Lone Star, which starred the eldest sister Sierra. She was a regular on the cast at that point. And speaking of
Was she a
Sierra,
real
she's
one?
landed
When she
several
spoke
acting
up,
roles over the
a
years.
lot of
She was
niggas
on
ain't picking up on
Empire
shit.
for a few
They
seasons,
collecting the check
and
when
she
they
also
bitch
appeared in
asses
the
to the
film
crib.
Honey
Then
Rising
they
the
weird
Dance.
nasty
And
ass
she most
shit, nigga.
recently launched a
Getting
devotional
piped out by
series
two
with
niggas
the
getting piped
Glory
out by
app.
each
So
other, or
again,
females
also
doing
kind
weird
of
shit. Like,
making
this is bullshit.
religious content,
You know what I'm saying? At least
Christianity
she's
a
speaking
part
up,
of like her
bitch.
mission. As for Lauren Mccain, she seems to be kind of the most low-key
Goofy
in
ass
a
nigga.
way. She did also continue working in the industry, however, voicing the Descendants' Wicked World character, one that was initially voiced by China in season 1. She also appeared in a 2019 horror film called Haunt. Lauren also scored a role in the Step Up High Water series. And in 2024, she did an interview with Trevor Jackson where she detailed some of her time coming up in the industry with her sisters, and
Thank
also
God, man. We got
finding
another day,
a way
man.
to
'Cause
have an identity outside
we
of their
get
sister
another day
brand
to
and
just
finding her
expose, you
way
know what I'm
on
saying,
her
the
own.
crooked shit in this
The
world,
only
man.
thing that I would change is how all-encompassing it became.
Of your own life,
Yes.
right?
My whole identity and everything.
Where I became wrapped up in
Yes.
that.
Grown now, so I don't let that happen no more. But
Yeah.
you have to have some individuality, and I learned that from my parents. You
Yeah,
have
you
to be an
can't
individual.
depend
You
on
have
Disney
to,
Channel, man.
because
You
otherwise
gotta
a
have
unit is not
personality,
going to
man.
work. If you're putting a puzzle together, but all the pieces want to look like each other, you're not going to finish the puzzle. You're just not going.
So that was a challenge for all of them in a lot of ways. So we know that China has teased a production company with her family, saying that there was a lot of projects she wanted to produce and tackle from her perspective. In July 2024, China reprised her role as Uma in Descendants, The Rise of Red, one that starred
starred Brandy this go around. A huge deal also for her, as it was her first return to the franchise since Cameron Boyce had passed away. She was also in a BET film that she executive produced again this time, called Brewster's Millions Christmas, starring alongside Romeo and her sister Sierra. She also sang the national anthem very recently at an Atlanta Falcons game in December 2024, so she's still singing. She's still using her voice, maybe not commercially. And as for China personally, she is alive and well.
Okay.
Celebrating her 27th birthday recently. But for some strange reason, guys, about a year ago in 2024, someone was spreading rumors on the internet that she had died, that she had passed away. And the rumor spread so much that China even had to go to her page, take to her page,
goes to show you the
and say, hey guys, just to set the
cruel
record
world,
straight,
man.
I'm
It's
still
evil and
alive.
demonic, man.
Horrible rumor. Whoever did that, horrible.
They trying to
Now,
take
it
niggas
does seem
out.
like she's taken a slight step back from posting as much.
I know it's been a long time. I haven't been on Instagram much this year.
No, go on
It's been
Instagram.
kind of nice, I can't lie.
Her recent TikToks are really just videos of her and her sisters. Now, my guess in all of it, China's probably going to just keep doing what she's doing. Although she had said she would take a step back from the industry, I don't see her doing that anytime soon. I think she's still going to be selective on the projects she takes. But I also have no confirmation if her sister's group will release any music in the future. But although music will always be a part of China, I don't see her pursuing that or having a huge focus on that for her commercially at all.
New music soon? Yeah.
I don't even think we'll ever really get commercial releases from China if it's not affiliated with a Disney film. But I could see her kind of going the gospel singing route.
Yeah.
I could see that. So, guys, that is what happened to China and
they try to take
Mccain.
ass out.
I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button down below to check out more of my content to keep up to date. I post every single Friday. Sometimes I take little breaks, but for the most part, it's a weekly thing. Make sure, guys, before you leave this video, click the link in the description. Go to ZocDoc.com/Cameron to book an appointment with a top-rated doctor today. And I will.
Alright, back. So y'all see from that bit, man, growing up as a child actor is crazy, you know what I'm saying? You be around high-powered people, you be around people that you never really be around. And so when you get around these people, man, you see a lot of teens, man, and they want a lot of these people to be quiet because they don't want people to understand that we in a spiritual battle, you know what I'm saying, every day against regular people. Even if you're not in that type of world, but even as a regular person, it's a spiritual battle every day because people are dying every day. But, you know, when you're a real one and you stand up for what you believe in, you always gonna get attacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was an NPC in the beginning, but she started to wake up and understand the truth. And as she started to speak on the truth, you see how they try to blackball her? And that's what we be saying, man. They don't want us to speak our truth. They want us to just collect the check, get used as a pawn and thrown away, and then can't say nothing. But she at least spoke up before they try to throw her away. So a lot of people ain't finna do that. And you see these NPC motherfucking people, these goofy ass people that try to come at her because she's speaking what she's speaking. Fucking turtles. What the fuck are we talking about? These people kill animals every fucking day, bitch. Like, come on. They just nitpick on little things. They been hating on her. They been looking for anything to hate. And they found some shit, and that's how it goes, man. But when you're real, you gotta stand up for what you believe in. And nothing wrong with living life and being a young person, a kid, and doing shit and having fun. You gonna always have to be on timing. You can have fun sometimes. You feel me? But it's always, remember, this is a war. And we out this bitch hooding outside, big crippin' the game outside shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.